Good morning, everybody. I'm Mary Cheh. I represent Ward 3 on the council, and we've been doing this every year since 9/11. And I want to welcome you and thank you for attending this commemoration ceremony to remember, so sadly, the horrific day of 9/11, 2001. And before we get started, I would ask everybody, could we please have a moment of silence? Thank you very much. When terrorist attacks on our nation killed over 3,000 people, destroyed the Twin Towers in New York, destroyed parts of the Pentagon, and but for the heroism of passengers, would have struck the Capitol, but that plane crashed, of course, in Pennsylvania. And now we come to honor and thank our first responders, those men and women who stand ready at all times to protect us, to rescue us, to sacrifice their lives, to suffer injuries and face long-time disabilities. You come and you do this and you're ready for any crisis, but you're ready for every day as well. And indeed, immediately following this ceremony, Mayor Muriel Bowser is going to review the plans and preparations for the hurricane that may strike us. And our first responders, our FEMS team, they will be integral to any plans that we have because, of course, you stand ready to help us, to rescue us at any time. And you do this every day, and all night, and we are grateful to you. We must never forget the bravery of our first responders. And remember, I'm sure you all have these pictures in your mind, as naturally everyone fled the devastation on that day. The first responders raced in. They raced in to rescue. They raced in to protect. And what they did, particularly in New York, the numbers there, they were racing in to their deaths. When firefighters are lost, as you know, the station rings bells, and because of 9/11, the bells rang and rang and rang and rang. Hundreds of firefighters and medical workers died as a result of that. So we are here. We come to thank you. We want to tell you how grateful we are for your service every day, and we will be presenting a resolution. But before we do that, I want to acknowledge that we are joined, of course, by Mayor Muriel Bowser, Council Chairman Phil Mendelson, and Councilmember Kenyan McDuffie. I don't know if there are any other council members present at the moment, but please come and join us when you arrive. And so before I turn it over to Mayor Bowser, I want to just remind you that there will be this after event of the preparations for the hurricane which may hit us. And then we will also present a resolution, and then we have a little gift, as we always do, to bring to our firefighters and EMS workers. So I would like to ask Mayor Bowser, please, to come forward.
Thank you, Councilwoman Cheh, and I want to thank all the men and women of DC Fire and EMS and all the first responders in Washington, D.C. We are reminded each year at this time of two words, and that's never forget. And we are all called upon 17 years later to be reminded of the bravery demonstrated by firefighters who put themselves, their health and safety behind those of their fellow New Yorkers and people at the Pentagon and also in Pennsylvania. Today, we join our brothers and sisters here in D.C., New York, and in Pennsylvania and across the nation in honoring nearly 3,000 people who were taken from us during the attacks of September 11th, 2001. You may also recall that we lost members of our DCPS family on that day, teachers and students who were on their way on a school trip. We offered our continued prayers and support to the victims, survivors, and their families. We are here today to honor the lives we lost, but to remember that we have our first responders, including those right here in Engine 16, who put their lives in danger in the line of duty for our safety each and every day. We honor them simply sometimes by saying thank you. Thank you for leaving your families, for working holidays, for the stress and anxiety that comes with jobs like yours. We honor them by making sure we invest in their equipment and training. We honor them by never forgetting their colleagues. As firefighters, paramedics, and officers did on that day 17 years ago, first responders run towards danger when all of us are seeking safety. You're called on to help people during their most traumatic experiences. And when you arrive, you bring comfort. They know that help is there. On behalf of all Washingtonians, I want to thank the brave men and women of DC Fire and EMS who serve our residents and visitors each and every day, and thank you for your dedication and commitment. You start each shift never knowing what it holds, but willing to respond whenever needed. We are stronger and safer because of you.
Thank you very much, Mayor Bowser. And I would like to now have the council members come forward. And what I think is appropriate is that this resolution should be read in its entirety because of the nature of this commemoration. We should have every clause of it be read in public. And so what I'd like to do, I'd like to call Council Chair and I'd like to call Councilmember McDuffie to come forward and they can respectively read the resolution. I would also add, and I want to thank the Mayor for pointing out, that it's also our job to support our first responders, our FEMS brothers and sisters, and we do that by making sure they have the resources that they need. But we also do that, and I want to point this out, by making sure that they have the safest set of circumstances. That's why we banned these fire retardants that are cancer-causing. That's why we have finally funded, thank you, Mayor Bowser, thank you, council members, we have finally fully funded the law that we have that protects firefighters when they have on-the-job injuries, particularly cancers that may be caused, and so that they can get recompense for that under a system that takes into account the situations that they have. So we need to do that. We need to do more, and we will do more. But I just want to point out that we have you in our thoughts, and we're grateful for all that you do. So if I could call up Council Chair Mendelson and Councilmember McDuffie, and I would ask that you, if you would please, with whatever remarks you have, also read the resolution that the Council adopted.
This is the easier version to read. But before I start to read it, and I think Councilmember McDuffie and I haven't really divided this up, but we will. I just want to make a couple of brief remarks, add to what Councilmember Cheh and Mayor Bowser said. I look at today as important for three reasons. First, to remember and thank the victims who gave their lives in the terrorist attack, although they didn't really give their lives. All they did was they were Americans and lost their lives. And second, today is a day to reflect on how we have learned from the incidents on September 11th and to recommit to doing even better with regard to protecting our citizens and ensuring safety for everybody, and to ensure that there are as few terrorist attacks as there can be, and that our response is as good as it can be. And the third point that is a lesson for today is just to thank our first responders, and especially those of the Fire and EMS Department. And the mayor reminded me that, yes, there were some students of an elementary school and teachers, parents who lost their lives in those airplane attacks, but also our Fire and EMS was one of the first responders at the Pentagon, something of which I'm proud, and I'm sure FEMS is proud of as well. The resolution I'll read some of it and then give it to Mr. McDuffie. Whereas on the occasion of the 17th anniversary of the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks on the United States, the Council of the District of Columbia honors the memory of the nearly 3,000 people who perished from the attack, including 12 victims from the district. Whereas an exceptionally courageous force of first responders, including more than 100,000 firefighters, paramedics, rescue and recovery workers, and police officers across the country risked their lives that day to save the lives of others. Whereas the brave District Fire and EMS Department, which along with the Arlington County Fire Department and other local fire agencies helped with the Pentagon recovery efforts on September 11, 2001. Whereas the men and women who serve as first responders in the District of Columbia carry out the extraordinary responsibility of protecting not only district residents, but also all who visit and work here, and have always done so with tremendous dedication and respect. Whereas the men and women of the district emergency services have fulfilled every duty to the district and their country in an honorable, courageous, and timely fashion, and they have demonstrated immense compassion for those who have suffered unforeseeable tragedies while routinely considering the safety and well-being of others before their own. Whereas nationally, thousands of first responders have suffered adverse physical and emotional effects of the 17 years since 2001, and even now are at significantly greater risk for developing occupational cancers due to their exposure to chemicals and debris from the attacks.
And whereas the Council acknowledges that there is more work to be done to support our first responders and to ensure that our men and women are suitably cared for and compensated for their brave work defending the district, our country, and ideals. And whereas it is fully right and just to honor the memory of those who lost their lives in the terrorist attacks decades ago, and it is equally compelling to observe and pay our respects to the first responders of the district and their bravery and selflessness in the face of extraordinarily trying circumstances. Resolved by the Council of the District of Columbia that this resolution be cited as the September 11th Emergency and First Responders Remembrance and Recognition Resolution of 2018. The Council of the District of Columbia honors its first responders for their tremendous commitment to serving the district and remembers emergency workers who dutifully served their country in the face of danger on September 11th, 2001. This resolution should go into effect when it's published. And I also just want to mention, as the Mayor and Chairman Mendelson and Councilmember Cheh, that we obviously want to honor the bravery and the courage of all the members of Engine 16 and members of fire departments around the country that responded, particularly those who lost their lives. And I want to recognize the student and the teacher who were passengers in the flight that went down in the Pentagon, particularly Asia Cotton, who was a resident of North Michigan Park in Ward 5, and a 11-year-old student at Bacchus who unfortunately lost her life as well. We want to remember all the victims of 9/11 and want to thank you.
Thank you, council members and mayor. And now we'd like to present this resolution to the Fire Chief Gregory Dean, if he could come forward. So on behalf of the council and the mayor, but really on behalf of all of the residents of the District of Columbia, we'd like to present this resolution to you. And as I told the members of Engine 16 as I shook their hands, we're presenting it to you, but we're really presenting it to each of them. So here you go.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Council Member. We always appreciate this. Welcome to Fire Station 16. A year ago, we were celebrating the opening of this station, and today we get an opportunity to remember those. It is, and we're also joined, I want to make sure, these young men and women next to us are recruits, and we wanted to make sure they understood the history of where we're coming. Thank you, Mayor Bowser and Councilmember Cheh, for taking the time and effort to recognize the brave men and women of DC Fire and the EMS Department around this somber anniversary. Also, thank you to Chairman Mendelson and Councilmember McDuffie. We're also joined by Local 36 President Dabney Hudson. Today marks 17 years since the horrific tragedies which played out on 9/11 in New York City, Shanksville, Pennsylvania, and right here, just across the Potomac River at the Pentagon. Vivid images that showed first responders running towards the burning wreckage. Among them, hundreds of DC's bravest racing to the Pentagon, as others made every attempt to get out of harm's way. Those first responders did not flinch. They did not hesitate, and 343 lost their lives that day. They paid the ultimate sacrifice, and even today, that tragic toll grows as deaths from 9/11 related illnesses continue. 9/11 Forever made goodbyes at the front doors of our members' homes mean so much more. Our firefighters and paramedics and their families sacrifice so much each and every day. It is our members who answer the hundreds of calls for help we receive every single day, all because they want to help, just as those thousands of first responders responded 17 years ago. So while we remember those who lost their lives, I also want to make sure we acknowledge the DC Fire and EMS members that have followed in those heroes' footsteps. And as we continue to say, we will never forget.
Thank you very much, Chief. Is Dabney Hudson here? I wanted to call him up. Would you please come up? The head of the union. And if you want to make a few remarks, but we gave the chief the resolution, but through you, we also have a little sweet gift that we always bring something for the station. And I do this with my stations also in my ward. But so we'd like to present this for them through you.
Perfect.
Dabney?
I appreciate it. Thank you. I got to share? Yeah, perfect. So thank you. Thank you, Councilmember Cheh, Council Chair Mendelson, Mayor Bowser, and Councilmember McDuffie. You know, I was thinking when you made the proclamation earlier, we've now lost more first responders to occupational diseases contracted by responding to the Twin Towers that day and the other incident scenes. And it's difficult because oftentimes politicians like to jump on the bandwagon of first responders and kind of play games and not treat us the way they should. But I'd like to say that everybody standing here today, through legislation that they've enacted, through presumptive legislation, have more than stepped up, followed through on their promises to the first responders, to everybody behind us today, through funding apparatus, funding training, the toxic flame retardant bills, the legislation that Councilmember McDuffie, when he chaired the committee for the aerial testing and pump testing. These are people that truly have the hearts of our first responders and all Washingtonians at their heart. So I'd like to thank you, all of you, for the work that you've done to ensure that we have the tools, the equipment, and the support from our council and our city that we need to do our job every day. So thank you all.
Thanks.
Yes.
Thank you all very much. And as soon as Mr. Dabney Hudson is able to open those out of the public here, then you can enjoy those. But what's going to happen now, immediately after this, is the mayor is going to step outside. You're going outside? Or staying here? We're going to stay right here, and she's going to identify and explain the preparations that we're making in case the hurricane hits us. But also, again, it's really appropriate that we do it here because, as I said before, key to our preparations will be the at-the-ready fire and EMS to help us when we're in a crisis. So, Mayor, I think we can just move right into that.
Thank you, Councilmember, and once again, thanks to the members of DC Fire and EMS. Thank you, Chief. I want to now invite members of our team to help in the briefing on our preparations for Hurricane Florence. I'm joined by Chief Dean, Chief Newsham, Director Chris Rodriguez from HCMA, Director Chris Shorter from DPW, Director Jeff Marudian from DDOT, Director Laura Zeilinger from Department of Human Services, Director Julia Irvin from the Mayor's Office of Community Relations and Services. I'm joined by our City Administrator Rashad Young, Young, Director Julie Lawson, Clean Cities. We're also joined by members of our public utility team, David Gaddis, who is the GM and CEO of DC Water, David Velasquez, President and CEO of PEPCO, Paul Wiedenfeld, the General Manager of WMATA, and any of the council members who would like to be present for questions. We will take questions at the conclusion of my remarks and Director Rodriguez's remarks. We are, of course, preparing for Hurricane Florence, and I want to assure the public that all the information that we have, we will share so that they can make preparations to be safe. This morning, I signed a mayor's order declaring a state of emergency effective immediately. This ensures that we will have the resources and supports we need to prepare for Florence. As you might remember, the last time I declared a state of emergency was on January 21st, 2016, in preparation for a large snow. So that we can make sure everyone gets timely updates through the week. We are asking all residents that have not already done so to sign up to receive text alerts at alertdc.dc.gov. alertdc.dc.gov. By doing so, you can receive important information through text and email. In addition to signing up for alerts, we also ask that each of you reach out to your family members, friends, and neighbors who may need assistance getting signed up. While we're still tracking Hurricane Florence's trajectory, we are also, as the hours and days move on, will have a better sense of its potential impact on D.C. We know that there will be flooding, heavy rain and wind, and likely power outages. So given that we know this already, we want residents to prepare accordingly. Get to the grocery store, make sure you have your medications, make sure you have flashlights and batteries. And residents can go to ready.dc.gov for more tips on how to prepare. I'll also add that the DC 311 app may be added to your phone. We're asking all residents to use 311 to report flooding and other non-emergency needs. As we monitor this weather event, we will continue to provide updates and get information out to our residents. We know that we have several special events planned in the city this weekend, and we are working with organizers to identify a new date for Fiesta DC and the H Street Northeast Festival. They are being rescheduled, and that information will be made as soon as it's available. I would like now to call on Director Chris Rodriguez, who leads our Emergency Management Agency.
Thank you, Mayor. The D.C. Homeland Security and Emergency Management Agency is the central coordinating agency for the district's overall response to potential hurricanes here in the nation's capital. Since last week, at the Mayor's direction, HCEMA has been monitoring the storm and briefing her senior leadership team. We have been coordinating with district agencies as well as our key regional and federal partners regarding any necessary actions that we need to take ahead of Hurricane Florence making landfall. As of this morning, as the Mayor said, what we can tell you about the predicted path of the hurricane is that the district will experience heavy rain, and that will result in localized and surge of flooding, particularly among our low-lying areas, down trees, power lines, and possible outages and transportation disruptions. Now, it's important to note that weather forecasting associated with this hurricane and with all hurricanes is complex. It's constantly changing. But again, under the Mayor's leadership, we're not going to let up on our preparations until we are sure that the district is in the clear. HCEMA is also preparing the district's Emergency Operations Center for extended response and recovery operations, and we are coordinating with the directors of the district agencies behind me, as well as with our utilities and our federal partners. We are on a daily basis also coordinating with critical infrastructure and public transportation partners, including Metro, to ensure that our efforts, preparedness efforts, are coordinated as well. Now, while hundreds work behind the scenes to prepare the district, I just want to reiterate what the mayor just said, and that is for district residents to be our preparedness partners and to take several steps. The first is to sign up for those alerts that the mayor mentioned at alertdc.dc.gov. That is the way we will be communicating with the public throughout the direction of this event. The second is to restock your supplies and review your individual and family emergency plans. Make sure your cell phones, mobile devices are charged. Make sure you have cash on hand. Your prescriptions are up to date and full through the end of next week. Take an inventory of items that you need to rely on for electricity, including personal medical equipment. Talk to your medical providers about power outage plans for devices powered by electricity and refrigerated medicines. Finally, do not stand or walk through standing water. There will be flooding in the district, so I just want to urge residents to be careful of that. Just 6 inches of moving water can knock you down, okay? And 1 foot of moving water can sweep a vehicle away and potentially putting first responders at risk of trying to rescue someone. For additional tips, again, as the mayor mentioned, on how to prepare, go to ready.dc.gov, and I'll invite the mayor back for any questions that you have.
Questions? Yes, Sam.
Yes, Mayor. I know in the past you've distributed sandbags for people that want to sandbag. What's the situation?
We will be likely noticing a sandbag pickup location. We're trying to get it as localized as possible. Come again?
That's forthcoming, is what you're saying?
Yes, if we find that that's necessary, we will advise on the locations for the distribution points. Yes. Sure. Well, DDOT will, and I'll ask our director to come up on all transportation issues, and if Metro would like to make a comment about preparations regarding to transportation, I'll turn to Mr. Wiedefeld.
Good morning. Our team at DDOT has been working across the entire agency, and these are events that we prepare year-round for. So first and foremost, we are prepared to handle the volume of tree issues that may arise. Our in-house crews are prepared to address any downed trees, tree limbs that are potentially impacting power lines. We will work very closely with our colleagues at PEPCO to address those types of emergencies. We also have additional backup emergency contracted crews available to assist our in-house team. We will be staging equipment at key areas which have been prone to high water volumes. Those types of roadways will have additional personnel available to assist with any emergencies that are necessary. It will be an all-hands-on-deck effort for our agency, so we'll have members of our traffic control teams and others available to assist. If there are signal outages, we will also have backup generators to ensure that there's coverage at major intersections. I will defer to Paul Wiedefeld to address the Metro-specific concerns, but as Director Rodriguez suggested, we are very closely coordinating with all of the agencies that are here, all of the utility companies, to ensure that all equipment, anything that's out there right now at construction sites, is safe and secure and prepared for the volume of water that we are anticipating.
Morning. First and foremost, I want to thank the mayor and her entire team for working with us to prepare for this. We're doing a number of things as well, both obviously monitoring, preparing. Just to give you one example, in our underground tunnels, we have 58 pumps that can pump 50,000 gallons of water an hour. So we're exercising all those pumps right now, but we'll have mechanics standing on call if there's any issues during the event. Right now, we plan on normal service. We will monitor. Obviously, the winds are a big concern to us, not for our equipment, but for our customers going out there, particularly on elevated platforms, and obviously if there's heavy water penetration. But one thing I do want to recommend for some of our customers, and that's our Metro Access customers, if possible, if at all possible, to cancel trips on Thursday and Friday until we see this play out. They're some of our most vulnerable customers, and we just want to make sure that they remain safe at all times.
Sam. Go ahead. What's your question, Sam?
Well, are they going to be out cleaning the catch basins? That's one of the things that we often see.
Related to flooding. Mr. Gaddis?
Thank you very much. As you know, there's approximately 25,000 catch basins in the district. We are out cleaning all the catch basins. We do clean them throughout the year, and so we are actually doing overtime right now to do so. But including on top of that, we are also going to have approximately 500 of our individuals in our organization ready at the hot spots that we've identified throughout the district. There's approximately 20 of those hot spots. They are prepared to go to those hot spots. We will tell the residents here in the district that if they do see flooding, don't hesitate to give us a call. We will get out and attempt to unclog whatever it may be and alleviate the flooding or the pooling of water as well. But we are on top of the catch basins and cleaning all of those.
Tell me a little more about that. 500 people? Or?
The 500 employees is what we plan to have in place this week to help in any issue that may come about regarding stormwater within the district.
I'm just going to, yes.
My question is, the National Park Service levy system created to protect downtown?
What is the question?
National Park Service levy system created to protect downtown BC in case of flooding?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I'm going to ask Director Rodriguez to talk about that.
Yes, we've been in constant contact with National Park Service on the 17th Street levee. They are closely monitoring the gauges along the Potomac, particularly at Wisconsin. When those gauges start to move up, we will have 24-hour notice of any potential flooding that would happen in that area. It takes about 4 hours to erect the levee. So we feel we have sufficient preparations in place in communication with National Park Service to ensure that we take those protective measures.
Okay, Dave, I'm going to ask you to come up to talk about the PEPCO preparations. Thank you.
Mayor, thank you. PEPCO is in full preparation mode at this point. We have activated our emergency personnel. We have in place our incident management teams. We are beginning to schedule shifts for the weekend to ensure that we have adequate 24-hour coverage throughout the weekend, no matter what might happen. In addition to that, you need to know that we have over 600 line personnel and over 150 tree personnel here at PEPCO ready to respond to any emergency. In addition to that, through our relationship as part of the Exelon family of companies, we are also bringing in additional personnel both from Chicago and from Philadelphia. The Chicago crews will begin traveling tomorrow. The Philadelphia crews, being closer, will start traveling later in the week. So we are in full preparation mode. The last thing I would do is encourage any customers, if you see a downed wire, do not approach a downed wire. In hurricanes, most of the damage is caused by falling trees, falling tree limbs because of the wind and the water. When that happens, it can bring down the power lines. For your safety, do not approach those lines. Give us a call through 1-877-PEPCO-62. We also have a mobile app as well as our website, pepco.com, where you can report outages or any other issues that customers have. Thank you.
And last, yes, ma'am.
Do you guys have specific areas where you're monitoring close, like for flooding or
Yes.
What areas are those?
Yes. So in addition to answering your question, I'm going to ask Director Rodriguez to go day by day on what the current weather forecast is beginning tomorrow. And then you'll answer your question.
So the current forecast, and again, this is as of this morning, for the next several days, we will begin to see rain enter the area, particularly in the district, starting sometime late Thursday and into Friday as Florence makes landfall in the Carolinas. There's, according to the National Weather Service, a 95% chance that that's where it's going to make landfall. The amount of rain that we'll see here in the district will depend on whether the hurricane stalls over the Carolinas and its trajectory after it makes landfall in the 48 to 72 hours. again, after it comes onto the East Coast. So we'll begin to see rains Thursday night into Friday and throughout the weekend if the current forecast holds. So we will see torrential rain for at least potentially 3 to 4 days. And again, we are taking necessary precautions to ensure that we're ready for that with all the individuals behind me. And of course, we are briefing the mayor constantly as this forecast is evolving. To the point about flooding, we do have a consolidated map that shows all of the areas that traditionally flood within the district. We've shared that with the mayor as recently as yesterday evening, and we are again taking preparations not only with the agencies behind me, but with the ANCs and with all of the residents in those areas. And so again, these are models, and they are based on the current predictions. And over the next 24 to 36 hours, we'll be able to narrow those areas so that we can begin to, again, take those necessary precautions.
Thank you.